All righty. Good morning, ladies. It is 9 o'clock. I will continue to admit people as they arrive. I hope everyone is wide awake, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed and ready for an hour of awe-inspiring tips and tidbits for you as you continue your role as treasurer for your chapter. Um, uh, if everybody could mute yourselves, please, just so that we don't get any feedback or any ambient noises, that would be great. As we go through the training, please jot down any questions or put your questions in the chat box, which Kristen Hope, your organizer, is going to be monitoring for us. And then, of course, the session is being recorded. So if you need to come back and revisit it later, you can certainly do that. And as I've already said on the call with us today, we have your Montana State Organizer, Kristen Hope. Kristen, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to cover today? Well, we're going to talk about how to navigate both the international and the Montana State website. I know that for some has been a bit of a challenge, but we are going to go take a look at it, and we're just going to show you how easy it truly is to navigate and find what it is that you need. We'll touch on things like where you can find your duties and your responsibilities. And then we're going to, of course, wrap up with the Q&A at the end. So for those just joining us, if you could please mute yourself so we don't get any feedback or any ambient noises, that would be greatly appreciated. And for those who just joined, if you do have a question, you can put it in the chat box, and Kristen is actually monitoring that for us today. Okay, so before some of you got here, we were trying to discuss the whole screen sharing option, as that has changed here in Zoom. So we are going to give that a go and see if it actually works for us today. Kristen, you'll have to give me a heads up on that. Well, it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to, so I'm excited about that. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the international website. And as I said, I know I've heard a lot of folks say that, it's a bit hard to navigate. There's a lot going on. But let's just take a look at how easy it actually is. So, of course, you're going to go to the international website, which is www.peointernational.org. And, of course, you are going to log on. Now, right from this landing page, you can pretty much find everything that you're going to need. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at where to find things. So number one, membership is going to be very important. From this place, you can learn how to transfer, how to reinstate a member, find out what your benefits of membership are. If someone is interested in membership, and introducing a woman who is not a PEO to PEO. So let's just click on one of them. Let's just click on how to transfer. Again, International has worked very hard at trying to, if everybody could mute themselves, please, as you come in, this just helps us with any ambient noise or any feedback. So yes, International has worked very hard at trying to ensure that they are providing all of us with all the information that we could possibly need as we hold each of our offices. So we're right now in the membership tab right up here, and we have just clicked on how to transfer. So here, if you have to transfer a sister, here is how it is done. It gives you step-by-step instructions on what you need to do by acknowledging the invitation to transfer, accepting it, or regretting it, transferring, when it can be done, when it can't be done. They also have a map tool. So for example, if you have a sister here in Montana who would like to transfer to somewhere else, you can click on the map tool. You can even use the filter tool. We're going to click on that. You can even use the filter tool. So this helps you relocate. You can also use the filter tool here to even fine tune what it is that you're looking for or what your sister is looking for. Okay. And again, it gives you step-by-step instructions. It has the invitations transfer for your local chapter secretaries. So everything that you need is located right here. Let's take a look at another one that is available on membership is reinstating your members. Again, International has worked very hard at trying to ensure that it gives you all the support you need when taking care of some of these particular tasks as a treasurer. So there are actually one of three ways that you can reinstate. Okay, you can reinstate with your current chapter. Okay, you can reinstate with another chapter, or you can reinstate with your most recent chapter and then transfer to another chapter when invited. And again, step-by-step instructions of what you need to do. They've got the notice of member for area or notice of member in your area form. And it also has that very important number, that 555-255-3153 number that you can call, let them know what you need assistance with, and they will be more than happy to help you. Okay. So some of the other things that you will probably utilize as a treasurer is the resource library. Okay. So again, right from our landing page, you've got the resource library. Okay. And here is where you're going to be able to find a lot of things that you will be utilizing. So for example, my lips are not working today, ladies. I apologize. For example, chapter supplies. So what you can do here is when I'm looking for something specific, I will go, for example, to audience type. Okay, so local chapter treasurer, that's you. All right, so that's going to bring up all of the things that you as treasurer will be utilizing. Okay, so instructions. It will also talk about notice of dues, annual report tips. Okay, your worksheets, the training, treasurer training, instructions of local chapters, treasurer's monthly reports, the Excel file instructions, roll call sheets. So just by even putting in the audience type, it brings up many of the things that you will utilize as a treasurer. Okay. And as I said, all of this is accessible right from the landing page. If you have a specific topic like annual report, okay, dues, all of those kinds of things, again, can be found under topics. Local resources, membership, all sorts of things. Again, right here from this landing page, you can certainly find. You can also search if there's something specific that you're looking for, you can search it in here and it will lead you to where you need to be. So let's just pick one here real quick and see. So let's go back to that audience type. Let's go back to local chapter treasurer. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look. So instructions of officers of local chapters. So for the example, this is going to give you what it is that you need to do as a treasurer. As you can see, you can download all of them, or you can just download your specific roles and responsibilities. This right here will give you everything that you need. It's 7 pages, and it will give you everything that you need to guide you as you go through your year as treasurer. It talks about your retention records, how long you have to keep each of the items that you have. It talks about general information, looking at your constitutions and your bylaws. Officer transition, if you're new to the role, make sure that your previous treasurer is helping you and guiding you as you take over, what your duties are, what your roles and responsibilities are during the ceremony of initiation, reports. It also talks about when you're getting donations and contributions, when you're donating to the projects, different supplies that you as treasurer should have. When you get an emblem for a new member, what you do for an emblem for a reinstating member, It helps you with the collection of annual dues. All those kinds of things. These are very useful tools. I strongly recommend that you run these off and just keep them in your binder or your folder, whichever you may have, to help you as you go along. Again, a very, very useful tool. And again, this can be found under resources from the international website. Okay, one of the other things that you guys are going to do as treasurer, of course, is annual reports, which now for some of you, annual reports used to be done once upon a time with pencil and paper, but now everything is online. And as we've gone through the process for a couple of years, it has improved substantially. I think this year, and Kristen, you can certainly chime in, this year was probably, I think, the least crazy one that we've had. Everything seemed to go really, really well. So it is getting better as we go. But again, right from the page here, topic, annual reports, local chapters. What does it do? It brings you up to your annual report training for local chapters. So you can review this video and it'll show you what you need to be looking for. Annual report tips, okay? And then, of course, it also gives you your IRSLC worksheet. So this is a very useful tool that you can utilize when annual report time comes. Okay. So again, from this main page, there is pretty much nothing that you cannot find. The resource library is an amazing tool to use. You can find stuff on the projects as well, just by hovering over projects and foundations. So all of the projects are listed. You can click on them. Let's say, for example, here we go. So the International Peace Scholarship Fund. So eligibility and application process. Again, I reiterate that International's worked very hard to make this a full service website so that anything that you can need or everything that you can need can be found on the website. So for example, if you need information, here's details about the scholarships, the eligibility requirements, deadlines, everything that you need is right here. You can get the applications, all of the information that you need, what is required from the local chapter. Everything you need is right here, and that is again for all of the different projects that we support. So if you have somebody, you can click on this, get all the information, eligibility, application, everything that you need to support that particular candidate for scholarship. Okay. If you're not sure what you're looking for, you can also use the search box. I've used it quite a bit to find different forms or to find information. If you can't find it by utilizing your resources, there we go. If you can't find it by utilizing this particular format, the search and filter format, okay, you can also use the search here or the search icon up here in the corner, and that will certainly help you as well. Okay. Now, we're also going to take a look at the Montana State website. And we're going to try to do this again here. Here we go. Just gotta find it. Let me see here. One quick second. Again, this has been changed a little bit, ladies. I do apologize. It wasn't this difficult earlier. Let's just see what we can do here. One quick second. Here we go. Nope, I don't want to do that. There we go. All right. Honestly, I did have all of this set up. I promise I did. There we go. Okay. Okay, so Montana PEO as well. The Montana site is also very, very helpful. You're going to spend a lot of your time looking at the resources. We're going to log right out so we can start right from the very, very beginning. Okay, so you're going to log in, and of course, you use your membership number and your own personal password. So when you get to the Montana State website, you're going to be mostly focusing on your proceedings and forms. That is where a lot of the information that you need will be found, as well as resources. Now, with proceedings and forms, if there's specific things that you're looking for from convention, they can all be found here. Okay. You'll be able to find your organizer pages, your local chapter, hints for your local chapter treasurer, all those kinds of things, as well as forms for the different Holmgren, internet, all sorts of things. Second year COTI, first year COTI, all of those things can be found here under proceedings and forms. You're also then, as I said, going to be using the resources, officer resources. Now here, as you can see, all officer resources are listed. Resources for the treasurer. You'll be able to find your instructions of local chapter treasurer's record book, international treasury resources, and of course your pyramid of giving. So you'll spend a lot of time here as well. Kristen, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
Yes, why don't you go back to LC 13?
Ah, yes, that's a very good one. Yes, I actually had that already pulled up somewhere. Here we go. There we go. There we are. There, can everybody see that one?
It's not showing.
Yes, now? Yes,
Nope.
yay!
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So you'll notice that at the top, it has Kelly's name and contact information on it, who is obviously the current treasurer. After convention, we will have a new treasurer, so that information will change. So make sure that you have the most current version because
Yes.
you want to make sure you send it to the right person.
Now, we won't be horribly upset if you send it to me. I will definitely feel the love and truly appreciate that. But the one thing that you can do to help identify that is taking a look at the bottom. So when you see the new one, it will have a 2025 date and my initials at the bottom. Okay. And then it'll have the new treasurer's name at the top. So if you're not sure, take a look. I mean, if you do send it to me by accident, then I will just forward it on. But please, yes, exactly. Do take a moment to make sure that you are sending it to the right person. Okay.
Kelly, maybe show where it's at on the Montana website.
Absolutely. Let me see here. There we go. Let me just see if I can find it here. Okay. All right, so let me see here. Now we're going to go back, and now you're going to go back to your proceedings and your forms. Okay. And I do apologize. My glasses are just giving me a little bit of grief today as I've got some newer ones and it's not working exactly how I would like them to work. All right, let's see here. I'm obviously missing it, Kristen, here. I
Yeah,
do.
so it's you're right. Go down just a little bit. You should be right in there. Page
There it
13.
is. Okay.
Yes.
All right, there you go. So yes, it's under that proceedings and forms, and it will pop up here. And of course, this is the one that has my name on it. And once convention is over, then all of those forms that you just saw are sent to our webmaster Diane, and she will update all of this. The other way that you can know that these are the most current and up-to-date forms is obviously by the date. The date will be 2025. Convention is in June, and as you can see, it does take a little bit of time to get all of this information downloaded, put into the right format, of course, and then put on the website for you to access. So a little grace would be greatly appreciated. Diane works very hard to get all this stuff up and running for us. She does it as quickly as she possibly can, but all of this information will be available shortly after convention. But here's where you can find your LC13. You can find the different applications. All of the information that you will need is going to be on here. Your organizer pages, pretty much everything that you need can be found under here. And then, of course, the resources that you can use as well. Kristen, anything you want to add to that?
Nope, I think you got it
Nope.
covered.
Okay. And remember, this is being recorded, so you can go back and take a look at this later. I would highly recommend, and I'm sure Kristen would concur, if you have an opportunity, just go into both the international website and the state website and just poke around. Just poke around, click buttons, take a look, see what's there, because you never know what you might find, what you might be able to use. I've actually had some chapters who have gone ahead and had a program on how to navigate both the international website and the Montana State website so that any chapter member can just go in and look around, especially if you're looking to invite a friend who isn't a PEO. You've got instructions on how to introduce PEO to someone who is not a PEO. So yes, by all means, go in, take a look around. Now, one of the other things as treasurer is there's some very important dates that you as treasurer need to be aware of. First one is January 31st, which is project donations. Okay. Now, I've written notes here just because this is so very, very important. Now, the deadline for project donations, donation checks needs to be January 31st because then they qualify for special recognition. Now, the check must be in the hands of the treasurer by January 31st, not just postmarked January 31st. We need to have it in our hot little hands, okay? So it is recommended that you mail that check by January the 15th, and that will ensure that it should get to your state treasurer. So that means you're going to have to start having discussions about your contributions in November and December. Okay, so that you have an opportunity to discuss, vote, and then get the checks ready to go. Now, the special recognition is chapters who do not donate $500 or more to a specific project. For example, if you donate 500 or more to STAR, you become a Constellation chapter. If you donate 500 or more to COTI, you become a Luminary chapter. And if you look on the LC13, it outlines each of those and what each one is called. Let me see. There is a note that the IPS project requires a specific form, okay, the Partners in Peace form, and that needs to be filled out and sent in with your contribution, and that can be found on the international website under IPS. Now, also, we have to note that this donation must be made in one lump sum. It cannot be made in installments. It has to be made in one lump sum. Okay. Next key date would be February 29th this year. I keep forgetting there's not 28. This year it's 29. I keep forgetting that. So member dues. All dues should be collected from members or arrangements are made with those going inactive by February 29th. It is best to start collecting your dues or at least start the discussions in the early fall or late summer to avoid that last minute rush because there's a lot going on and you certainly don't want to have anybody left out or have anybody forgotten about. So make sure you start having those conversations late summer and early fall. Um, chapter project donations as well. Um, all chapter donations must be received by February 29th, 2026 to be included in the fiscal year's current gift list. Okay. It cannot come any later than that. If we get it later than that, they will not be counted. Okay. In this fiscal year's gift list. Most of this information will be put on your Excel within your Excel. For those who use Excel, if you use those Excel sheets, that is where that information will be put in. And just as a reminder, because I know we've gotten questions. I know Kristen has. I know I have received questions in regards to the Excel sheets. We literally have no control over any of those, not any of them. And actually, that number that I had mentioned before, the 515-255-3153 number, if you have any questions in regarding to Excel, having to update your particular version, you contact that number and they will take care of it for you as we do not have any control. We can't see them. We can't change them. We can't do anything like that. Oh, sorry. These glasses are just giving me grief today. I do apologize. So in regards to Excel, if you are using an older spreadsheet version, there may be an update available. And by calling that number, they will be able to provide you with an update. Okay. And instructions for creating your ledger sheets. Those are available on the international website under local chapter treasurer. Okay. Another important date, March 1 through March 10. That is our annual reporting period. And as I said, that is all happening online. As I had mentioned, the online version seems to be working fairly well. I think this year went really well. Kristen, I mean, I don't know about you, but yeah, I think it went really, really well this year. There is a very critical window as far as annual reports, that March 1 through March 10, that is when it needs to be done. And timing is going to be critical in this instance because you have more than one person involved with this particular process. So if you're not going to be available during the reporting time, you need to provide a proxy, okay, to take care of your responsibilities on your behalf. And your corresponding secretary must update the officer list with your proxy's name. And here is why. Because that proxy officer will receive the login information to do the report. Okay. If your corresponding secretary doesn't change the information, then you as treasurer will get the login information. But if you're not there to do it, then there's a problem. So if you're not going to be able to do your report, you need to make sure that you let your corresponding secretary know so she can update that information, because then all of that information will be sent to the person taking care of your particular responsibilities. And then once you have that particular proxy in place, make sure you notify your state treasurer and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to do it, but this officer is going to be taking care of it for me, because then we just make a note so that we know who we're talking to, who we need to assist. Okay. There will be a training video. International will do a training video February 1st that you will be able to utilize to help. Okay. Also, if you're new to the office, reach out to your former treasurer and say, so what does this look like? How does this work? And they can walk you through what it looks like and how it works. Your state treasurer will also do training for you to show you what to look for, what you're going to do, how to go about it. As we sort of took a look at the international website, there are areas there where there are tips for you as well that you can utilize when preparing for it. The training sessions for treasurers will be listed usually in the Montana Marguerite and the E-Sister, so you can look for those, and that is usually in January that those dates will come out. Helpful tools before starting annual reporting is the IRSLC worksheet, which we saw on the international website. That is very, very helpful. It'll help you go through the steps, give you the you need to be looking for. Also, there is the guideline sheet, and that's found on the international website that you can utilize as well. Again, very helpful. And just so that you understand the submission process, okay? So your corresponding secretary will complete her portion prior to March 1st. So she has the opportunity to do it before everything goes live, get all of her ducks in a row and get everything done that she needs to get done. Then once March 1st hits, it's your turn to go in and take care of your responsibilities as treasurer. And then finally, once you're done, your chapter president will then go in, okay, and do their part. And then once that is submitted, your state officers then go in and we have to take care of and review each of those. So it is very, very important that you pay attention to that window and to that time, because since there are so many people involved in the process, you want to make sure you have time just in case a report gets rejected, a number is wrong, something needs to be changed. And we did have some of that this year where, they needed to change because a member didn't get reported, that, something happened. So make sure that you have a really good timeline set out so that you get your parts done, allows us time to get our parts done, and then get back to you if there's anything that needs to be changed. So make sure you're planning ahead. You've got good communication between yourself and your president so that everybody is on the same page. And please note that March 10th is the hard deadline. That is the final deadline. There's no wiggle room because, of course, we have to do then our part as your state to submit as well. So just like you have that deadline, so do we. We have the deadline as the state that these things need to be accomplished and finished and done by a certain date. Okay, so final steps with annual reporting. So once the annual report is complete, okay, you can have a nice glass of wine and celebrate. Yay, I'm done. Thank you. Thank you. How fabulous. You will then submit your finals dues check dated 2/29/2026. And this is the last check that you are going to write for the year. Okay. And then once all of that is done and you send that in, your state treasurer will start processing all of that paperwork. You will then receive a release letter that will be sent to your president for both the secretary and for the treasurer. They're both sent at the same time, trying to streamline and get that all done. So your president should receive a release letter for your corresponding secretary and for you as well. Okay. Once you get that release letter, 2 copies should be made. 1 copy for the president and 1 copy for you. Okay. So keep that in your file, your binder, whatever it is that you have, but hang on to it. That letter will also be read at your chapter meeting following, okay, that so that it can be recorded in the minutes. Let me see. What else? Kristen, what else can you think of? I'm just going through here my notes. Is there anything else you can think of?
I had to unmute myself. I don't think so. I think you've got it covered.
Okay. Hey, I'm really excited. This is great. Okay. So the next thing that comes up for you guys Let me see here. I'm just taking a quick peek here. All right, good stuff. So the next thing that comes up is convention, of course. And after convention, all of your new state offices are going to be installed. If all goes as planned, at least that's the plan. If all goes as planned, I'll be stepping in as the new organizer, and you will have a new state treasurer. Um, so I'm sure there will be a notification that this is your new state treasurer. Here is all of her contact information. So please make a note of that. Add her to your contacts so that when you are getting information back and forth from her, her information doesn't go into your spam. She knows who you are, you know who she is, and then you can carry on good conversations and be and utilize her skills and abilities. Please always remember that she is fresh to the role. She's going to need a little bit of grace and a little bit of time to get herself adjusted. She, just like I did with Kristen was an amazing resource for me, and I'm hoping that I will be a resource for our new incoming treasurer as well. So the two of us will probably work together for a little while to support you and help you along as you go through things. Always feel free to reach out to any state officer, whether it be the treasurer, the president, the vice president, myself, whomever. We're all here and available to assist you. Um, Typically here in July, as I had stated, that's when those proceedings from convention will be listed. So you can keep checking back on the Montana State website, because of course there are going to be certain things that you're going to want to copy and run off as state treasurer. I know your president, they'll update the proceedings book. There are going to be certain things that you're going to want to look at, preparing for your organizer visits, all of those kinds of things. So usually in and around July is when all of those will be updated from the 2025 convention. So you can just pop on there, look at that information. The LC13, as we already shown you, will be updated with your new state treasurer's information. You'll also have from the proceedings and forms, you'll also have all the contact information for all of your officers. So that will be available to you as well.
Kelly,
Yes.
why don't you explain exactly what the LC13 is for our new treasurers?
Absolutely, I would love to do that. So what the LC13 is it's the tool that you're going to use to send in donations to the projects. So throughout the year, it doesn't just happen at, one specific time. Throughout the year, you may have an in memoriam or an in honor of that you want to make. So what you would do is you would print off your LC13. You would determine the project that you would like it to go to. You would fill that out, let us know that it's an in memoriam or whether it's an in honor of. You would send that and a check to your state treasurer made out to MCS P.E.O. And then we take that, we enter that donation, so that donation is credited to your chapter for the year. It's also utilized at the end of the year when you make your donations to all of the projects. Again, the LC13 in here. Let me see. I'm gonna share that again. I'm sure I've got it. Yay! Look at me. I do have that. I'm so excited. Okay. So let me know when you guys can see it here. Oh, and it's coming. I promise. There it is. Hello. Okay. So you will utilize this throughout the year, not just for, year end donations. You can utilize this throughout the entire year. So you talk about the international projects here. You would put your donation, whether it's a memorial, whether it's an honorarium. You total it out over here. Okay, so you've got Cotty College, you've got the ELF, you've got International Peace, you've got Program for Continuing Education, the the Scholar Awards, the STAR. Then you have your Montana State projects, okay? So the Cotty Scholarship, the Cotty Travel, the Montana Cotty Fund, the Jane Hammer Holmgren. You also have the P.E.O Foundation. So this is what you would fill out when you have a donation that you would like to make, and it can be done the entire year. And then you can utilize this sheet for your year-end giving as well. The bottom, you provide us with a little extra information, whether it's in honor of or in memory of, where we can send the notification. Okay. And then this is sent in with your check. Okay. So as you can see here, checks for the entire amount are made to MSC P.E.O. If they're made to anything else, in most cases, you will have to get the check back because we are not able to deposit it. Also, when you're filling out your check, make sure that your totals, okay, match your check total. Because if they don't, again, we have to send that back and you'll have to reissue. So it's very important that when you are sending these things, that you're making sure that your check matches your donation total, that it's made out to the right person or the right organization. Otherwise, the bank will not take it and we have to send it back. And if we're looking at year-end gifts, as we said, there's a really tight window there. So we don't want to have to be sending checks back and forth right before that deadline. Okay. Kristen, anything else?
I did put some information in the chat box,
Yes.
including the international phone number. So if you need help from international, it is in the chat box.
Yes, they are absolutely wonderful. And, we certainly answer as much as we can and assist as much as we can, but sometimes we don't even know. But the folks at that number, they are absolutely amazing. When you pick up the phone, you just say, I'm having problems with my Excel, or I'm having problems with this donation, or I'm not sure. And they are absolutely amazing. They are more than happy to help. Okay, so we've got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to open the floor to questions and answers. But before I do that, I do want to take a moment to offer my heartfelt thanks to all the treasurers that I have worked with over the past year. You guys are a truly amazing group of women, and your chapters are very, very lucky to have you. And it has been my sincere pleasure to work with you. To all of our new chapters on today, thank you for saying yes to this very, very important role. I have no doubt that you're all going to do a wonderful job. And please remember that at no time are you ever alone. Your state officers are here for you to support you, to do whatever you need to ensure that you are successful at your particular position. So again, my sincere thanks. We will open the floor up to questions. So fire away, ladies. Okay, now you're just giving me a swollen head. Now I just think I'm just that good. If you do want to add, if you have a question, just unmute yourself real quick, and then we can go from there. So we don't have any questions. Wow, you guys are.
I don't have a question, but I want to say the annual report was really easy to do. So
Oh,
thank you.
good. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm old school. So, I'm used to that pen and paper and the grid, that's how I'm used to doing it. So, I was so pleased at how easily it was this year. It was so great. And you guys did such an amazing job. Like, wow, you girls were just right on top of it.
Well, kudos to the website. It's
Yes,
great.
they did great.
And the training. We were trained well.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
My question is just in regards to Excel.
Yes.
And so I will have to use that phone number. For some reason, my Apple computer doesn't like that Excel. So, and that was my biggest question. So I'll go ahead and make that phone call and see if they can walk me through it.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because we would really like to have, be able to help, but that's just an area where we are completely hands off. They're sort of in control of that rodeo, which by the sounds of it might be probably a good thing because they've got all that experience. So that's great. Mary, hi.
I finally figured out where my
Yeah,
unmute.
they change it so often, you just don't even know anymore.
Well, I have many questions because I'm just starting out, but um, our chapter BU has started a local uh, scholarship for Gallatin College here in Bozeman, and it's going to be for people to uh, from anywhere from Montana to apply. It's not yet on the state listing yet. I think our representative and president, Jeannie Peterson, is going to be presenting to your board. But my question is that LC, I forgot the name of it.
13, yeah.
Is that where at the very bottom, if a donation is made to that, is that the form I fill out? Because it's through the foundation at International.
Yes. Yeah,
It
we
would
will
be,
utilize.
it'd be a designated on that form because it says,
Here, I'll pull it up for us.
yes, yeah.
Okay, so yes, this is the form that you would utilize. And when you go down, it's just going to take a second, I promise, ladies. And there we go. Okay, so yes, down here where it says foundation, you can see undesignated or you can do designated. So when you do it, you would put Gallatin right in here. Okay, and then you put the donation amount right here, total it out, and then make the check payable to that amount. Okay.
Okay, and a question we've had with the International is that when people make donations and if they send it directly, um, we are not getting notified necessarily that someone has made a donation and we have no way to thank them then. Has that come up for anybody else?
I'm going to make a note of that.
Yeah.
It's been a problem because when people we like to send a thank you. And
Oh,
if
absolutely.
they won't tell us who gave the donation, it's it boomerangs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All
Okay,
right.
so then the other question may be an international question, but is can you find in when you showed us on the international where to find uh, projects and things at the international level, is there a place either on the international or at the state to find information, for instance, about a state project or particularly our Gallatin College scholarship?
Kristen?
Yeah, so that information would be on the Montana website. I do
I'm
not
gonna,
think anything has been put up yet.
yeah.
My understanding that that's the case, but that's where we will look for it in the
Yes,
future.
correct.
And does it have anything more? Will it have anything more than a narrative? Is there a way to find out what the current balance is without having to call the office?
You would probably have to contact the office. So what they would do is they would just provide you with a narrative. If there's any kind of a link or a form or anything like that, instruction, things of that nature, they'll probably provide that. But as far as balances, that would be something that you would have to talk to a person about.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay. Well, please remember that we are always here. Even though, I won't be state treasurer anymore, please feel free to reach out as I will be working with the new state treasurer and supporting her and helping her. And we will work together to ensure that you guys have everything that you need. Any member of the state board can assist in any way, shape, or form. We're always available. Our information is online on the Montana State website. You can click through those proceedings and forms and you can find all of our contact information there. Kristen, did you have anything you want to finish up with? You girls are so awesome. Like, wow.
Just a show of hands, how many of you are brand new to the office? just out of curiosity.
Hey, well, hi guys, and welcome. Welcome, welcome.
I'm sorry, who is our new state treasurer?
We'll find that out at convention.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we don't, it's a surprise.
If somebody wants to donate and stay anonymous, what do we do in that case?
Ooh, that's a good question. I've never had that before. I don't think it's a problem. You know what? I'm going to write that one down too. So do they want to make it to a specific project, or
Yes.
do okay, so somebody who is anonymous wants to make a gift. Okay.
And it's a pretty substantial one to the college.
Oh, so they want to make it to Cotty. Okay. Kristen, have we ever had something? Since I've been treasurer, I haven't had anything like that. Have we had something like that in the past?
No, not when I was treasurer. I think we probably should get information about that just so that we're telling you the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think we should do that.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I will do. And you're with which chapter? Sorry.
I am with BX.
Okay. So what I will do is I will inquire as to what steps need to be taken for somebody who wishes to make an anonymous donation to the college and how they would like you to go about that. And so then I will reach out to you directly once I speak with someone. Okay. And I'm also going to inquire, Mary, about when people make donations at the international level, how you can be able to recognize them at a local level. I will certainly inquire about that as well and get back to you on that. You are very welcome. Did anybody else have any questions or needed any information that I could find for you or I have not already given you?
Nope, you've been very helpful.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to miss this part, I think.
I'm just brainstorming here for the donation to Cotty. There is on the international website, anyone can make a donation. And I believe on the top toolbar, it says donations or gift or something like that. And an individual can go and fill out a form and send their donation to international or to Cotty that way.
Okay.
But I think we still need to probably get more information if that's the route they want.
Okay.
Yes, and you're absolutely right, Kristen. I mean, anybody can go on to the website and make a donation. That's certainly not a problem. But yeah, we want to make sure that it is being recorded and done properly. So I will inquire as to how they think it's best to handle that. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, our pleasure. Our pleasure. Well, ladies, it has been wonderful. Thank you so much. For those who are new to the party, thank you for saying yes. We really, really appreciate it. For those who are sticking with us, you ladies are amazing. And as I said, I've had just a wonderful year with you all. We will all be here to support you as needed. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We will be more than happy to help you in any way that we can. I wish you all the wonderful rest of your day. Get out there, enjoy the sunshine if you have it. And we will talk to you guys all later.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.